Hi, in this week's video I'm going to be reviewing this NordicTracks flagship home fitness bike, the S27i. I've been using this bike for several months now, so I've really got to grips with it, and I'm going to split this review into 5 parts. We'll look at the build quality and also why I've upgraded a couple of parts on this bike already. I'll show you the areas in where they're real class leaders. And also I'll show you the parts that I don't like. I'll also tell you who I think this bike will suit best. And I'll tell you how it led to these forever scars. At the end of this video as well, as a little bonus, I'll also tell you how you can save over $300 on your iFit membership. Let's get cracking. Let's start with build quality. Now, I didn't pay for NordicTracks white glove service where they build it for you. And it's actually packed, I would say, for transit rather than the end user. And it took me 30 minutes to unpack and then a further 90 minutes to build. On the whole, I would say the build quality of this bike is excellent and it feels really robust when you're using it. The drivetrain is super smooth and, as you can hear, very quiet. Let's compare it to the Peloton Bike Plus, which, although just as smooth, it is a little bit noisier, isn't it? And although the NordicTrack doesn't perhaps have the design flair of a Peloton, I do really like his kind of more brutalist looks. And that screen is just amazing. There are 2 areas though where the build quality really does fall down. And they're such simple things that I think NordicTrack could have got this right from the offset. Number 1 is the seat. So I'm not really a violent person, but if I needed a blunt instrument, this seat is ridiculously uncomfortable. I just swapped the seat out for a $20 seat on Amazon. Now, I like this seat, but not enough to recommend it because it's got a little bit lumpy. I don't know if you can see, but it is much more comfortable than the original seat. The other area is the pedals. So these come with quite chunky pedals. They're caged on one side and then you've got SPD on the other. I've switched them out to these Venzos, which are really good pedals. I highly recommend them. You've got your SPD on this side. You've got your loop delta cleats on that side. And what they do is the other pedals are quite chunky, so they kind of feel like they're coming out a bit. These bring everything closer together and bring your feet closer together and really make for a comfortable ride. There's also plenty of adjustment on this bike. On the seat, you've got up and down adjustment, there's quite a lot there, as well as forward and back adjustment. On the handlebars, you've just got up and down adjustment with no forward and back adjustment. Now, because this screen is so heavy, you might think adjusting this is hard, but there's a very clever hydraulic mechanism in this, which just makes lifting it up and down really, really easy. With the NordicTrack, you also get the weights included, and they've moved them here to the back of the bike, which is a really nice touch because they used to be at the front here. You've also got this tray table as well, which is really handy for your phone and your headphones and your keys, etc. The screen also has 360-degree rotation. It goes all the way around. I've got it against the wall, so I can't take it all the way around. But what you may find is when you put it on an angle like this, that the screen actually appears to be tilted. If this happens, you can just readjust it with that button there, which I'll talk about later. So one thing I really love, and I love this like it's one of my kids, is this fan here. Basically, you've got 3 settings. You've also got an auto setting, which means the faster you pedal, the faster the fan blows. So I just think it's genius. What comes out of there is directly in comparison with what's going on down here. What's not to love? At this point, I'd like to ask for the obligatory like and subscribe. I know it gets tiresome, but more importantly, if you do decide to buy a NordicTrack bike or any piece of NordicTrack equipment, then please use the link in the description. That will take you to the best price on the NordicTrack site, and it also helps support the channel. So thanks very much. iFit, which is the platform you use when you're using a NordicTrack bike, have a mixture of class and outdoor rides. And the class rides are very good. However, I don't find them quite as engaging as Peloton, but where they are class leaders, and it's not even close, is with these rides. So I'm showing you on a TV because if I show you on the bike, every time I stop pedaling, it freezes the video. So what they have are these amazing outdoor scenic fitness rides. And out of all the fitness cycling I do, these rides are by far my favorite. The reason being is you can just pick anywhere in the world to ride. You can pick your favorite instructor. You can pick all types of workout. They're just amazing workouts. And the way they are filmed, the cinematography is just excellent. There's another person here on a bike, which you might just see coming in and out. And they very cleverly generally wear gloves and long sleeves tops. So you're not looking at somebody's arms. It kind of can feel a bit like you're looking at your own arms, even though intellectually you know you're not. But yeah, it's just very much like you and a cycling coach out for a ride all over the world. And what makes these rides even more immersive is the auto follow function. So that works in two ways. Firstly, you've got resistance. So the coach or the workout sets your resistance. And it used to be that you had to pick a ride that matched your fitness level. So if you're an intermediate, you'd pick an intermediate ride. However, what happens now is you can actually change that. So you can pick an easy ride and the resistance will go like this throughout the ride, but you can have yours above that. Conversely, if you choose, I've picked too hard a ride. Conversely, if you choose a hard ride and it's up here, you can trail it down here. And what you might be able to see is every time the terrain changes, the angle of the bike changes as well. So let me show you how this incline, auto incline works. So I'm going to do it manually for this. Now I've got the resistance set of 10, which feels kind of like a flat road. Let's change it to 12. 12 feels like a flat road. And when you go up a hill, the bike inclines. And so although the resistance still says 12, it mimics a real hill. So I'm having to pedal really hard at this maximum incline of 20%, but I'm still on 12. Let's take it down to the bottom. So I'm now at -10. Oh, this is a piece of cake. My resistance is still 12, but the bike is actually mimicking me going down a hill. So it is really easy. I should have done this first. And it does. Perhaps not now because I've got a blank screen, but when you're riding, it actually really adds to the sensation of the workout. It's spectacularly good. Welcome to the other side of my garage, where I'm going to show you the things that I don't like about the NordicTrack S27i. And the reason I'm out here is because this room is pitch black without any lights on. But you can see it's not quite pitch black in here, is it? Let me shut the door. It's not completely dark in here. And the reason for that is this. So the screen on the S27i never goes off. It just filters through a load of screensavers. Now, you can switch it off. You can switch the bike off, but you can't switch this off, but you can switch the bike off. And there's a little switch down here, which is a little bit fiddly to get to, but if you turn it off down here, or at the socket if you've got a switch socket, then that does solve the problem if you're sleeping in the same room that the S27i is in. The next thing I'm going to show you, you're not going to be able to unsee. So feel free to skip forward 30 seconds if you don't want to see it. And that is the size of the bezel around the screen. It is absolutely massive. I just think they could have made it a bit thinner. Let me show you the pelotons. That's the top part's a speaker, but look at the bezel there. It's nice and neat and tidy. No one's ever released a song called I Like Big Bezels. Next is the screen response. So it's a very smooth screen. I really like this. In fact, it's a little bit smoother than the Peloton. However, when you start tapping on things, it's not quite as perhaps reactive as your phone. So there is a slight delay and you do get a spinny wheel. I don't think this is down to the processing power of the machine. I think it's more down to how the workouts are perhaps pulled down from the cloud, because when you do a manual workout, you don't get this. So you will have to wait for a workout to load, and I'll do this in real time just so you can see. and I've got a very good internet connection in here. This is the kind of like the kind of waiting room for the class where you can add Bluetooth devices. Open my headphones here. So here's my headphones. It finds them straight away. I'll whip them out, and then it's connected straight away to them. If you've got Apple headphones, it won't be, you might not find it as slick as that. And then when you click end warm up, the class will start. And sometimes it just takes a couple of seconds for the picture quality to catch up. So I'm not sure how well this will come over. I don't know if you saw that then, but it just took a moment and now it's crisp and it looks fantastic. Next thing will either be a plus or a minus depending on how you look at it. So when you're actually doing a workout, the music track is separate to the actual workout. So what that means is rather than the trainer curating music for the ride, so you might have music with crescendos or something that matches the tempo of the ride, you choose a station. If you're in the UK, you only get four stations, which does feel a little bit limited. But I generally find something I like, a station I like, or I turn the sound completely off and just have the trainer speaking, and I might put my own music on a speaker in this room. If you're in the US, you get, I think it's 11 stations, so you'll get a lot more stations to choose from. One of the things I like about this is I can just switch the music off, still have the instructor's voice, and listen to my own music. So behind me is the Peloton and the NordicTrack. So I'm going to tell you who I think the NordicTrack is for. And I'll also tell you about these. Almost forgot about my scars. I'll tell you about them first. So the outdoor rides on this are just so good that it actually kind of made me think I wanted to ride a bike outdoors. So I bought a gravel bike, immediately thought, there's lots of wind, which you don't get on this. There's dog mess to avoid. There's people, there's weather. I hit a pothole and I fell off. And I've never fallen off one of these. I think if you fall off one of these, it's probably natural selection. So if you're into riding where you don't want that rah-rah, in-your-face, class-type hype machine, which isn't a bad thing, I like that too, then this is for you. The reason this keeps me coming back isn't for the off-the-bike stuff like the yoga and the strength and also the class stuff. It's for these outdoor rides. So if you are not that bothered about the outdoor rides, but if you want this outdoor experience with this auto follow and the incline that goes up and down, which is my favorite thing on any home exercise bike, then the NordicTrack S27i is for you. You might go mountain biking in Norway, tomorrow it might be road cycling in the Caribbean, and the next day you could be gravel riding in Italy. There is just such a volume of content on this machine for these amazing outdoor rides. Yeah, I love them. So finally, I told you how to save over $300, and I did it yesterday morning actually for my subscription on this. I just renewed it. So here's how to do it. Before then, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do that. And as I've mentioned, if you do buy this or any piece of NordicTrack equipment, use the links in the description. When you buy any NordicTrack product, you will generally be offered 30 days iFit membership, which is the platform that all NordicTrack and Proform equipment uses. I wouldn't click on this because at the end of this, they put you on the £28, or I put the dollar amount, I think it's $38 a month subscription. Instead, just go on to the iFit website, go to the shop, and then tab down to annual membership. So if you're a single person, you'll save $324 on the price of the family membership. And even if you're a family, you'll save a good amount. I've got a whole video on this. It's about 2.5 minutes long, so I will link to it here and also here. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, see you soon.